Hey everyone, so today I'm filming my creepy doll Halloween makeup look. I'm starting with the Kat Von D foundation in shade 41. It's her lightest shade. There are a lot of foundations on the market, and this is probably the lightest one that I could find at Sephora. I searched, asked for recommendations. I love this foundation anyway, just to do your basic routine, so I was really excited that they had the lighter color. I love the way that this foundation applies, and it is very good for the skin. I've never had issues with this one at all, and it blends really well. I'm using the Sephora blending sponge. I love the Sephora sponges because they're really affordable. I think this one was about $12. You can buy them in packages of 2. You can buy bigger packages, but the regular beauty blender, is a little bit more expensive. So I love to get the Sephora version. I think they do a really great job at making the shapes and making the consistency of the sponge. And so the one I like this one because it's a little thicker on the end, and it does still have that fine point. So with the foundation, for this look, what I'm doing is just blending it out over the entire face, including the ears and the mouth and under your chin, because what we're doing is we want to really make the skin look pale. You don't want it to look super white, so I don't necessarily suggest doing multiple layers. I like it to look just very pale. I want it to almost look naturally pale, which is kind of what I'm going for here. So that's why I know where the dress goes down to, so I'll cover right down to the middle of my neck, and then I'll cover, blend that with the face, and then the dress will cover the rest of it. But you definitely want to make sure it's well blended with the ears too, because if you want it to look really natural, then you want to blend it in with your ears as well. And I think if you forget the ears, it'll look kind of silly, so I'll go all the way around to the hairline and all the way up to your ears as well. Next, I'm using the Kat Von D. It's just a powder, so it's just a facial powder. It's great for setting the foundation, and this is actually in shade 42. They did not have shade 41 in the powder, but this is extremely close to 41. What I do when I apply the powder, as it is a really great setting for the foundation and the rest of your makeup, is I just use a really big fluffy powder brush, and I apply it in circular motions, making sure I get every area of my face, especially the hairline and just under the chin and neck. Now I'm just combing my eyebrows out, make sure that they're as straight as they can be, and before I put on the filler. So I'm using the BH Cosmetics Brow Trio to fill in my eyebrows. And what I'm going to do with this is this palette, as you might have seen in my other videos, is obviously my favorite for eyebrows, and it is in dark brown shades. So there's a dark brown powder, a dark brown cream, and a lighter brown. I'm not going to be using either of the powders actually in this palette, because what I'm doing is I'm just going to outline the brows with this powder. So I just want that line. I want a very distinct line. I want the brows to look almost drawn on. They're so filled in. So I'm just using the cream to outline the brows here. And then I'm going to go back in with a powder after the fact. So when you're doing the eyebrows this way, obviously make sure that they're even, but I like to carry that line, the very outer corner of the eyebrow, carry that out to make sure it really looks like a straight line. You really don't want them to be wispy at all, just because for this look you want it to be a little bit more kind of like porcelain, drawn on look. So now I'm opening my BH Cosmetics Shimmer Palette, and I'm going to be using this shimmery black eyeshadow to actually fill in the brows. So once you've outlined the brows with that dark brown color, I'm going to take this with the brush that actually comes with the Brow Trio palette, and I'm going to just lightly fill them in and make sure that especially the inner corner of the eyebrow is where you're filling it in more heavily, just because typically that's an area that's a little bit more wispy. So to make the eyes look a little bit wider, I'm actually using a white eyeliner pencil on that waterline. You can also use a black or a gray if you want the eyes to look a little bit darker and smokier. This is an option as well, but with the eyeshadow that I'm going to be putting on, I do want the eyes to look very bright and very open in contrast to the darker shadow that I'm going to apply. I will be using the same BH Cosmetics shimmer palette for this entire look. If you haven't used their eyeshadows before, they're probably my top favorite for eyeshadows. They're super affordable, they're very well pigmented, and they come in so many different colors that they're really awesome to use. I've been using them since I started doing makeup, and I've just kind of grown with them, and they've changed and adapted as well, and I really love the way that their brand has gone. So now I'm taking that dark gray that was in that palette. So there's 3 different shades of gray. This is like the medium kind of tone of gray. It's still dark, but it's not the darkest, because what I'm going to do is do an initial layer in this medium to dark gray. And then I'm going to go back over this with a darker gray. And you want to fill your entire eyelid with this, all the way up the crease, close to your brow bone, but not to your brow bone, because you want to keep that white up there for the kind of bright widening appearance as well. So you want to make sure that you're really covering as much area as possible without really going all the way up to the brow bone. And you want it to look even on both sides, which I think can be a little bit more challenging. So if you aren't familiar with doing your eyeshadow, I do this technique for most of my looks. You can actually hold like a towel or tape or anything on the side of your eye there, and you can make sure that the line is even on both sides. So now I'm taking that darker gray. It is very gray. It's a really smoky, almost black kind of gray, and I'm actually just going over the base of the eyelid again. This is going to blend in with that lighter gray color, which is what we're kind of looking for here. We really want it to look dark, but we want it to blend, so it's kind of a series of shades and shadows of the gray. And of course, you want to make sure it's even on both sides. I'm using kind of a wide, fluffier eyeshadow brush for this. Another tip with the eyeshadow is to make sure before you start applying it to prevent all of the excess residue from coming off onto your cheeks, which is so annoying. It's just to tap the brush lightly on the counter or on a towel before you apply it. So now I'm taking a mix of this medium blue and gray, and I'm actually going to use this to contour. So I'm running this on the sides of my nose, and then it's also going to go right onto my cheekbones once I'm all set with this. And this is just your basic contour, but you're using different shade colors for it. Typically what I'll do with the creepier makeup looks is kind of use that same exact contour technique as I just mentioned by following the bridge of the nose and sharpening those cheekbones. So what I'm doing here is taking that same blend, that same gray and blue with a larger brush, and I'm just going to follow the line right underneath the cheekbone there. And this is where I typically contour with my darker shades of brown as well. So again, what we're doing here is following that natural line so that instead of making it look really fake, we want it to almost look natural. So you want it to look like, you know, it really is your contour, and you want it to kind of match the look as well, which is why we use that grayish color, because it really brings that creepy, kind of spooky look back to this makeup. And I put quite a few layers on here because I like it to look a little bit heavier. My next step is taking this white Makeup Forever lipstick. This is a really pure white lipstick. I got it, I was actually on sale at Sephora, so I was really excited about this because for this look, I'm not using a white lipstick. I'm using the white as a base, and then I'm actually going to go over this. So I'm following the natural shape of my lips exactly. I don't want to go over because I want the lips to still hold their shape. The whole idea with this look is really for the doll to look creepy and spooky, but also kind of cute as well, because when you see the dolls, that's the vibe they give off, is they're really cute, but they also have that kind of spookiness to them. So what I'm doing here is just putting a base coat of a lighter gray onto the lips. Then I'm taking a mix, the same mix of the contour except with a darker blue, and I'm just going to coat my lips with this color so that they look a lot more dull and lifeless. That's what the blue really achieves with this makeup look, is the blue gives you that kind of lifeless, creepy, almost dead kind of look. And I like to do quite a few coats of this as well because the shadow, even with the base, sometimes doesn't hold up as great as I'd like it to. I recommend setting this right after you apply it so that it doesn't rub off. And next I'm taking the Kat Von D Liquid Black Eyeliner. And this is a foam tip eyeliner, and it's perfect for drawing on lines onto the face. So you can do this in multiple different ways. It really is up to personal preference. Some people will do the lines straight across evenly. Some people will do X's, like on the cover of my costume package. The girl had X's on her lips, and that's a very traditional way of doing this look. But I like to kind of change it up and make it unique and fun, and I'll just do random stitching however I feel like doing it when I do it. It's always different. It's really never the same. But I think that's kind of what's fun about this look, is that you can change it up and kind of make it unique to you. Sometimes the liner doesn't come out quite as dark as you're hoping it will, and so I'll do a couple of different layers on that exact same line to make it look a little bit thicker. Also, some lines can be thicker than others to show that some are a little bit more worn down than others. And then make sure that your line comes all the way to the bottom of the lip to get the complete look that we're going for here. Next, I'm taking that same eyeliner and I'm going to start drawing the cracks onto my face. So here I'm just doing the cracks on the skull/forehead. The great part about these, similar to the lips, is that you really can make it kind of your own style. You can have very few cracks. You can have a face covered in cracks. I've seen it done so many different ways. I'm just doing the top corner of the forehead right here. I'm not going to cover the full forehead for this look. I'm really kind of looking to spread the cracks out. That way it isn't too busy and you really do get to see the rest of the makeup look. But also because I'm trying to kind of pull off that cute, creepy doll look as opposed to just flat out scary. So I am refraining from putting too many cracks on. And next I'm putting the cracks right onto my chin, up my cheekbone. And I do this on the opposite side because I think it gives a little bit more balance to the look. But again, you could do this on the other side. You could swap sides, whatever you're kind of feeling like. And just for the extra little bit of detail, I add just a small crack onto one side of the bridge of my nose. And I almost always add a crack right under the eye. Something about that, I think, gives a little bit more life to this look that I'm looking for. It kind of pulls the whole crack look together. It kind of looks like I was dropped on that side because there are definitely a few more cracks on that side. And what I'm doing now is taking that dark gray eyeshadow that we used before, and I'm just underlining my eye with that. So right under the waterline, underneath the lower lash line, I'm just going to coat this on before we put on our lashes. And this is going to blend in with the top and kind of give the eyes that darker appearance. So now I'm taking my eyelashes. And I use the Duo Lash Glue, the eyelash adhesive. This is just the clear glue. I've tried the darker one. I don't like it quite as much. So this glue is amazing. Duo, in my opinion, makes the best lash glue. They stay on really for quite a long time, and I have no like irritation or anything to them. So I love their adhesive glue. So these lashes are just a cheap lash that I actually got at like CVS, I think, a while ago. I usually use Ardell's because Ardell's are my favorite, but I'll use those in my top lash line. Because these are for a Halloween look, I'm actually just going to use these cheaper ones down in the bottom since I'm not going to be using them for very long. And a lot of people will flip these, but I'm actually going to put them on like a regular lash here. Just because it kind of changes the look up, and I just like the way it looked a little bit better when I was testing this look out before. And already you can see the difference these lashes make on this look. I mean, this look wouldn't even be what it is without the lower lashes. I think they really pull the look together. And for those who don't actually put the lashes on their lower lids, then I think just drawing those lashes on makes a huge difference for the appearance of the overall costume. And a tip when putting these on is to apply the adhesive to the lash strip and then to let it sit just for a couple of seconds. I'll let it air dry a little bit so it gets tacky, and then put it on. I find the lower lash strips a lot easier to put on than the top. Just from my experience, I feel like it's a little bit easier to handle them. Next, I'm going in with the mascara before I go to the top lashes, and I'm just going to put a coat on the lower lashes so that they blend in with the strip that we just attached. So next up, I'm taking my Ardell Glamour Lashes. I actually like this look a lot better with the double lashes, the double thick ones. I didn't have any today for this look, but I do really like the glamour ones as well if you're not looking for like crazy lashes. But those ones give the look just that little bit more life in it. They're a lot darker, so they kind of make the eyes stand out a little bit more. I like to fluff these out and point them up so that while they dry, they kind of dry in that upward position. I'll reuse these lashes a few times and they really hold their shape as long as you don't put too much glue on them. So I like to just do as little glue as I have to. And as you can see, I had a little bit of trouble getting the corners to stick down on this eye for some reason. Sometimes if you don't put enough glue, that can happen, or the makeup underneath is just kind of fighting it off. But you just play with it a little bit, push it down with your fingers, and it'll go on. And then I'm just going over this. I'm actually using a different mascara. This is the Estee Lauder Double Mascara. I love the way this mascara kind of fluffs out the falsies. There are some mascaras that I don't like to use with the falsies, and that Luna and Aster one I just used before is one of those. So I like the Estee Lauder one a lot better for kind of fluffing out the eyelashes and giving them that full-bodied look. And here I'm just taking a lighter gray and blue mixture, and I am going to blend that gray eyeshadow that we had before out. I'm gonna go put my costume on and I'll be right back. Here I am with the costume from Yandy on. It came with this creepy but cute little doll. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thanks for watching. I have a few more Halloween makeup looks coming up this month. If you have any requests, I would love for you to leave them in the comments, and I can't wait to share them with you.